Jamaica is the ideal transshipment point for cocaine. The powder comes in from South America by light aircraft or by sea. It then travels to Miami, New York, and on to Britain. This is the Coke Trail. Kingston Airport. It's estimated that 1 in every 4 flights leaving here has cocaine on board. Jamaican officials are suspected by foreign law enforcers of getting their cut from the most lucrative trade in the country. But behind them are some of the political figures, according to US undercover agents.
All they have to do is call up the airports and the ship ports and say, hey, you know, my guy's sending in a shipment of cocaine or a shipment of weed to the United States or the UK or Canada, and that, you know, they'll be blind, deaf and dumb, the guys at the airport and the port authorities.
What do the politicians get out of this then?
They get money, and lots of it too. It goes by until they're out of power. Because this money here, they have to make the money when they're in power. Because when they're out of power, they have enough money in the Swiss bank or Grand Cayman to live a happy lifestyle after they retire from politics.
Tony Brown retired from a political career of sorts. He can now afford to relax with his wife at a fashionable beach near Kingston. He was once a top killer for the PNP. Now he's a Yardie drug dealer. When he murdered a policeman just before the 1980 election, he had to go on the run. He fled abroad, like other political gunmen. He was based in New York, but when his crack dealing came under investigation, he used the Yardie network to slip into Britain.
The best shot at the time was to go to London. I spoke to a friend. Then that friend put me on to a friend. So that friend took care of getting me somewhere to live. Then he took care, like taking me to meet other friends. So I just did what was really correct. Like they said, don't go here, don't go there. I just tucked in.
The key thing to all this is having false documents, isn't it? How easy is it to get them?
Getting false documents is like buying a ticket for a bus. So long as you have the money up front, that is really what gets you false documents.
Jamaicans call the British passport the Black Book. The trade in crack cocaine couldn't function without it. Some passports come from corrupt officials in Britain. There's no shortage of experts with the skill to provide a convincing new identity for the Yardie gunmen and dealers.
There's scams in Jamaica where I can get your passport, get your picture out, get back my picture in, and it looks just as good. You get a brand new passport somewhere or another, you get it. You want a visa for America, you get it. You know what I'm saying? You want, if your Jamaican passport is messed up, you get a brand new passport, brand new. You know what I'm saying? No trace of an old one. That's it, just dollars.
New York City is the main artery of Yardie drug dealing in the United States. From the mid-1980s, they simply swept the other drugs gangs aside. Many Jamaican exiles have put down roots in Brooklyn, bringing with them the culture of Kingston. It provided the ideal cover for the Yardies to move in. The Jamaican street gangs became known as posses. One of the most successful, with links to the People's National Party, had its nerve centre in this building. A posse from Kingston called the Gully Men killed the owner of the block, and for 7 years they ran it as the headquarters of an operation dealing in marijuana, heroin and crack cocaine. It was a license to print money. At its peak they were pulling in $60,000 a day. And the arrival of the gully men is a textbook example of the way in which the Jamaican gang seize a piece of turf and make it their own. The vast crack factories symbolise the potential of the US market. But the gully men's fortune became the envy of other yardies, and the violence of Kingston was transplanted to a new arena.
A lot of shootings occurred right here on this corner. There were numerous drive-by shootings. Eventually, the most ruthless of that family driving by was eventually killed, and one of the alleged shooters of that individual and the murderers was Desmond Brown.
Desmond Brown, protected by his Yardie network, is now on the run. We tracked him down at a safe house. He's wanted for murder and faces a life sentence. The man he killed was a Yardie rival from Kingston.
Them come from the same area where me did born and grew up to, just as well as them, but them was bigger man, was a kid, that's why them know me. But them had was to leave from the community of Jamaica and in other places to hide until they make it them own self to America. So them have problems with my family.
The Yardies never lose their links with Kingston. As they fought for control of the Brooklyn crack market, they turned to their old street corners for recruits.
They would not really trust any of the local Americans here to work. What they would do is recruit their own people from back in Jamaica, in the Kingston area, the surrounding neighborhoods. They would bring their own people up here to the United States using false passports or green cards for whatever reason to travel. Bring them here, and the new people that would arrive would now become the workers on the street actually selling the drugs